Al the Pal here, 1911. Today I'm going to do some reloading on 45 ACP. Stands for Automatic Colt Pistol. I found some inherent problems with this round that you just need to look out for as you're reloading. We'll be reloading this on a Dillon RL 550B. That's my preferred progressive reloader. The Dillon doesn't have any issues, but I think some of the components that you use here you need to be aware of, especially new reloaders, because what we have here is, in picking up range brass and shooting even brass that you buy, this is blazer brass, and it's also what is that, Remington. If you look down in here, I'll try to get it under the light where you can see it and just zoom in there. You'll see that the primer pockets are both large and small. Now this is both 45 ACP. Now the book, I use the Hornady book because I'm using a Hornady 200 grain XTP 45 caliber. It's the number 45140, and I'm using the Winchester 231 ball powder, and we're using various different cases. Now these are some things that I'm finding that you got to be careful about, because you could explode a primer trying to push a large primer into a small pocket. Or you could actually probably get a small primer in a large one and stay there, but not stay there long. So this is something you have to be aware of. You need to make sure that you're pulling out and separating your brass, even at 45 ACP now. I don't know how long this has been going on, but I've been catching them quite a bit. And kind of different. I don't see that in a lot of different calibers. So be aware of that you're going to have to look at these cases, and you're going to have to separate the large primers from the small. Now obviously you can shoot either one successfully, maintain the same pressures, because these are factory loaded cases. They're coming from the factories this way. So obviously, I'm not exactly sure why that we're having to do two different types, but it's aggravating to have to separate this brass out, because I've got probably 500, 600, 700 cases over here in this one load that I'm redoing now, and I think that that's kind of a problem child in my opinion. I wanted to go through this thing because I'm going to be loading actually CCI large pistol number 300 primers. This is what I'm putting in it. You'll notice that I put the empty pocket, the box of the primers, in behind my press. I want to be sure about, when I walk away from this, that I know what primers I have in there. So be aware that you want to keep things kind of organized on your bench or while you're reloading. You always want to leave your powder box jar out, because I switch a lot of powders. Winchester 231, you always want to leave the bullets that you're using. The 45 cal 200 grain XTPs, Hornadys. Those are really good bullets. I wanted to show you a little bit about what we do here, and that's one of the things that I think you need to be aware of. Prior to setting up the press, you know, we've already got our powder measure set up. We've already got our die set up. I'm using the Dillon die sets for 45 ACP. And what I like about the Dillon over some of the others is it actually has a separate crimping die as the fourth stage, which I really like. Some of the RCBSs do crimping and seating in the same in the same die, and I have a difficult time getting that correct sometimes. It's easier just to get a separate crimp. It makes life a lot easier, and I like the simplicity of that. But I'm always looking over here. There's another small one. I just try to separate out the small primers. You can tell real quickly. You know, you're starting your first set will be your resizing, decapping of the primer on the downstroke. On the upstroke, you're setting a new primer in. You can always look at that. Now we've got the new primer in there. I really like the Dillon's primer system. It works really well. You go to the second stage. You put another one in. That's another one. I've got about a half and half here, looks like, on my primer situation. Second stage, you go back in, downstroke, upstroke. Now I've got 2 stages going at this time. I've belled the case, which allows me to set the bullet as I advanced the bullets around. I'm putting another one in the first stage. Alright, I'm putting a bullet in the belled case. It's already set up in your seating die, the correct dimensions that I'm looking for. This one will absolutely bell the case and put a new load of powder in. Now, right there, that primer does not want to go in. I'm going to look at it. And all you might need to do on this one is just turn it just a little bit, and the primer will go right in. Sometimes if they won't go in on the on your pushback stroke for your priming, you want to take that and just turn it a little bit and do it again. It'll go. Advance it. Large primer. Case. Bullet in the stage. We're belled and ready to go. I'm using about looks like about 5.8 grains is what the book calls for on this Win 231 powder. There's another one kind of hard. Turn it a little bit, it goes right in. And that's the simplicity of this. You can really knock out a lot of rounds. If you want to go out the next day and load you up a couple hundred rounds that evening, you can do it probably in an hour at least. You can do a lot more than that, but I just can't. I'm pretty slow with this. But I don't mind going slow because that's just as fast as my brain will keep up. I wanted to show you a little bit about the problems inherent with that and some of the problems you run into here with your primers. Some of the primers don't go in exactly right, and you'll want to make sure of that. So in setting up your press, I'll have a few videos more about, but I wanted to kind of give you a couple of things that I'm running into here with some new some of this range brass that I'm picking up. I think if you'll be careful about the brass as you get it down and you start cleaning it and things, as you're taking it out, you might want to start checking all your 45 ACPs, because there's a lot of different primer pocket not problems. You can load the small pistol primers in there, but the book calls for large pistol primers, and that's what I try to stay with. So I'll probably go into this a little further, but I wanted to show you that in this video, show you how this 550 briefly works. We'll go in depth about how we can set these dies up, how we can clean each one of these dies, and the powder bar is very consistent with certain types of powders. Some powders, the cylinder powders, I have trouble with, and so keep in mind of that. We'll be back with you with some more videos. We plan on doing quite a bit on the on the reloading side, and appreciate you guys following. We're new, bear with us. We'll make bigger and better videos in the future. We're trying to work the bugs out right now. This is Al the Pal, 1911.